Hello, viewers. Um, joining this brief video as we reflect on a powerful verse, Revelation 3 verse 8. It's a verse I like so much. Really speaks volumes to me. Actually, for this verse, the very first times I think I discovered it was behind one of the bands. Like I noticed, especially in Kenya, we have this culture where people share specific verses on the behind the vehicles. Or you find it when you enter into a matatu, or even into yes, matatu. You find it later in a sticker. So this was really stuck with me, and I've grown to like it a lot. I've really grown to appreciate and to like this verse a lot. Trying to adjust it a little. So I've really grown to really like and appreciate this verse a lot. So it is in Revelation 3 verse 8, and it reads very well. It reads, I know what you do. I know that you have a little power. You have followed my teaching and have been faithful to me. I have opened the door in front of you, which no one can close. Revelation 3 verse 8. It's really, really powerful verse. So this verse simply implies that the blessings of God are permanent. They may happen suddenly or they may take time, and especially that's why we urge people to. It is good that we continually pray and pray for whatever it is we do to seek His blessings, because once our God decides, His blessings they are forever, and nothing can interfere with them. Nothing. Once the door is opened, it is it. No one can interfere with that door. No one can interfere with it. So you are very assured that once we have the blessings of God, they are eternal. This also gives us a lot of comfort in that when we see other people also having been blessed, let us appreciate them. And it's also keen also, and also if I expound it a little bit, means that if you see any success somewhere, there is something that has happened to it. Just didn't happen, or didn't just fall from the sky. There is work behind it. And the key thing is to console that person who have succeeded, and they'll give you the answer. Because if you look even at this verse, it says very clearly that I know what you do. I know that you have little power. See, you have followed my teaching and have been faithful to me. You have followed my teaching. Means that for any success to happen, there has to be some things to be followed, some guidance. Some people fall just suddenly into the discoveries. Others follow certain principles. That's why you hear like there is principles for success. People say them, or even principles to succeed. For example, in finances, even in families, in your relationships, there are things that you do consistently that make something succeed. And those are some of, at times one has to learn them. I notice, like for example, when a couple is they are coming together, they are usually taken either advised by their relatives or very close people to them, or people who have been in that process. They give them advice. Notice also someone who is opening a business. They tend to consult someone who advises them, or they observe somebody who have ever been successful, and then they learn from them. So notice that. So there is like a process to have to learn from someone. And I think some of us have the weaknesses of wanting just to succeed suddenly, without getting paying that sweat, or being a bit arrogant to ask or consult. Even at work, you may wonder, you may notice a colleague when they write a report, it's always approved, but then you start thinking they have a connection to someone. But have you ever take a note, just stepped aside and ask them, and you'll notice people who are successful are really very willing to assist. But most of us, I think, spend time attacking them, thinking they are using shortcuts, spelling their names, instead of consulting them. Just consult. If you notice somebody is doing, if, for example, you both working in a small shop, both of you, and you notice this shop always has customers, ask. You could ask, hi, I'm your neighbor. I was wondering. I notice people really prefer. What is the secret? They may, a kind person will tell you. They're like, no, I just talk to them more, or I just bring what they want. And in fact, there's something I remembered. You had gone with my mom to visit a friend of hers who had opened a shop nearby in the estates that we live. We live in it's actually Super Highway Estate in Kenyatta Road. It's around July. So we had gone to with my mom to visit a friend. So they had, I think, set up a new shop. They were a bit newer, and that lady, uh, because she was the only one occupying that shop, she was saying, "I pray and I hope someone, another person comes and opens a shop nearby." And I was shocked. What do you mean? You want competition? Because if somebody opens a shop nearby, that means they will size your customers. But she shocked me by the reply she made. She told me this. It will actually increase the customers. I was like, what do you mean? I thought if you're just alone somewhere, then that means you'll have more. And she told me no. And then I sort of let me just inquire a little bit. My inquisitive nature came in and I asked her, why do you mean? First, she told me this. One, I have been in business all my life. Like she told me she has been doing business all her life because she was a bit older now. She was an old, quite an advanced in age woman. She was old. But she told me something that really didn't never left me. She told me something that has always like stuck with me. She said this: if you have another person here, then people will come because they are sure even if they do not find something in my shop, at least they'll find it in the next shop. If, for example, they wanted this particular bread, even if they miss this bread here, they am sure they'll find it in a neighbor shop. But if I'm only alone, they'll prefer to just buy their products far from here rather than just chance. And I was like, wow. And I remember a thing my dad keeps saying. I'll say it in Kiku, then I'll interpret it. Stini ninagira nyeki, ng'ombe wanashikilia. Meaning that if the cows are feeding, they will not like the grass will be enough for all of them. That one cow can't decide that they will. I'm trying to put a direct interpretation of the same. I think someone please you'll comment down below there if you're able to interpret it very well. But it means that even if there is grass, the grass, even if a cow starts eating grass, it can't eat the entire grass. That even if they're eating 20 cows, they'll still each get a grass of its own. Okay. So it means the more you divide, the more it's one is able to get. And you also, this is also another thing you have noticed even when you walk to town. If you are looking for a phone, there is an entire row of shop, like an entire wing, like an entire street all selling shops, sharing. Okay, an entire entire wing, all of them selling. They are all selling phones, and you're like, how do they get customers? But you'll be like, they are more likely to attract more customers if they belong. They are in one wing, versus if they are not. They are in a different wing. Okay. Um, as I was saying, as I'm nearing the end actually, and I hope you are subscribing, and also it's good you comment and subscribe, and also refer to your friends. One thing I was also adding is this, that there are powers that step in to help us that we may not even know about. You remember that the Revelation 3:10, 3:8 was written by Saint John the Apostle, and looking back, uh, Jesus had said that this he would live. He will not die. And I remember there were people who started asking, does it mean that he will not die? But he said, even if he does not die, it is my decision. And I remember there's something he said that he'll see the glory of God. And this is the glory I think he got to see, because these were the revelations. The revelation was written by John himself, St. John. So it's important we see that. And I think in his teachings, that once you start to obey, things open up. A case in point also is during your workplaces, where when you obey your bosses, then the opportunities just rise up. You get these chances and opportunities. Why? One, because they know that you represent the organization very well. Then that even if they send you somewhere, you will adhere to the teachings of the organization, or your stand will be similar to that of the organization, so they can trust you. It's like when people send an ambassador is sent to another country by, for example, the leadership, because that leader knows that, like a president, for example, knows that when I send you the ambassador, what they'll talk, it will be according to me. And how do you get those positions? It's when you start to obey, when things, the very little instructions you're given. Just that's the very simple instructions. I remember this another famous author in the Bible that says that God prefers he prefers obedience more than sacrifice, more than, I don't know, someone will tell me how it goes. It is better to I prefer sacrifice, obedience more than sacrifice. And it's not coming clearly. Please, someone comment on there. It's coming in my mind, in my spirit. That obedience. Oh yes, I've got it. Thank you. I've gotten it. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. And once you start to obey, then you get more information and more liberation. It's like even in traffic rules, you're told please keep left, and if you keep left, the road keeps moving and you keep going very smoothly. But you decide to go right, you might cause a collision and everything else. And in order to obey, it's in the area that you're interested in. Take advice from in that area because they are principles. It's like a case point also in your studies. If you're struggling to pass an exam, ask someone who is performing well in that subject and they'll give you the notes and they'll show you. If someone fails to tell you, ask another person. I'm sure if you keep asking, someone will show you. The concept is Matthew, knock and the door shall be opened for you. If you knock, but doesn't mean just knock once and keep knocking. Someone may not guide you, another one will help you, and you'll eventually find help if you really search for it. Okay. So that is clearly what was on my spirit and on my mind, and I trust this has been helpful to someone. So share with your friend, share with someone who you think will benefit from this, and also let us also practice this message. Brief summary, like I talked about that verse Revelation 3:8. I know that you do, I know what you do. I know that you have a little power. You have followed my teaching and have been faithful to me. I have opened a door in front of you which no one can close. See the power of obedience and of trusting God. Let us trust in Him. In anything we do, let us share with Him and He'll guide us. And God will always send us a helper. We will always find help. At times it may not come in the way you want it, or you may think about it, but it will come. I'm tempted to give another story. I hope it will be relevant. Let me give it to you. I was hoping to give it in a different video, but I can give it here. I was going to a meeting one day, and actually it's in a hotel in it's the hotel I went to. I'm trying to remember the location, but if I remember, I'll should be here. But it's actually a guy I was talking to here. He was working there, and we got talking because I noticed he was really kind, he was helpful. He was one of the staff there, cleaning tables, serving people, very friendly. So I asked him, "How did you get a job here?" And he told me, funnily enough for me, I got this job that in a very strange way. And I asked how. He said, a colleague was going sort of was taking a brief break, and he needed somebody to come and step in. So he just and he was a cleaner. He used to clean the corridor. So he called me and he said, "Can you come and assist me to clean the corridors for just like a week? After that, then I can come back because it's just a cleaner. It was not like sort of a very senior person." And then this boy comes and he can call him a boy, but he's a young man. He came and helped his friend. And when he was cleaning the corridors, he would do it very fast because he'd come very early and just clean and keep cleaning. And so there's a guy who would come and say hi to him and just crack jokes. And he would respond very kindly and very just joke around with this particular person. This is someone you just come, joke around, and then walk in the hotel. You just joke around, and even you didn't ignore him. He would come and make some certain comments and just laugh, telling me you're working. Yes, I love it. And then when he was even still down there, because he'll finish his work and he'll ensure he'll come and assist even the people in the hotel. But though his job was primarily to clean the corridors. So what happens after the 1 week? So this other guy comes back. So when he comes back, so he was supposed not to go and receive the payments, just given a stipend for the 1 week that he had volunteered. As he was going to pick the stipend, guess who he meets paying that stipend? Is the guy who would randomly greet him. Oh my goodness. Imagine had he ignored him. So apparently that guy was a manager that he didn't know because he was just coming to volunteer, so he had no idea who these people are. And that manager ended up asking, no, at first let me, I'm rushing it. So he gives him his stipend. He just meets this guy like he's so familiar, he laughs at him, he gives him his stipend. And then he asked him, "Do you have any work?" He says, "No, I don't have work." Okay, no problem. So he just leaves his contacts and disappears. So 3 weeks later he's called and he's told, "Hi, are you working somewhere?" He said, "No, I'm still just hustling. So why don't you come and report to this hotel today and he'll start work." And guess what? When he reported, he was assigned the work like one of the waitresses, the waiter. He was assigned as a waiter in there and given full pay and given work completely to work full time. Notice this is the work he didn't apply. All he did was to be kind to a stranger because the stranger was coming to greet him every day. And trust you me, he got work like that. And that suddenly actually hasn't even started. He didn't go to the university or college. It's just so he actually is learning on the job. He learned on the job, and he told me that when he's working there, he comes across CVs of people trying to apply every day. He didn't even give a CV, but he got a job. Why? Because he was kind to a stranger. He was kind to a stranger. So, like I said, and I repeat this verse. I know if what you do. I know that you have a little power. You have followed my teaching and have been faithful to me. I have opened a door in front of you which no one can close. Notice he knew what the manager knew what this guy was doing because he could see he was cleaning very effortlessly. Secondly, he had very little power. Why? He did not have the papers. He wasn't even qualified as such. He didn't have the papers. All he had was the passion. So he couldn't even have dropped a CV because he didn't have it. Um, and you have followed my teaching. The teaching is he was kind enough. You could imagine, for example, they were teaching because he was instructed by the previous guy he had come to sort of to study in place of. He was diligently doing the teachings what he had been told to wipe to do everything else. And so I have opened a door that no one can close, and that door is the job opportunity. That is the power of. There is power in itself of being kind, being diligent in where you are. I don't even know. I'm lost of words, but I leave it at that. Remember to subscribe and thank you so much. Yes, and if you have an idea of an area you think or a verse that really inspires you, share it, and then we'll share it with. I'll try to make a reflection on it. Thank you so much. Have a lovely night. I think I can say a brief prayer for us here. Let us believe and pray. Mighty and everlasting Father, we come before you, believing and trusting and happy that you've given us a chance to have shared your word. Bless it, Lord, and may it be impactful to my listeners and viewers, and anybody who will view it, that now it will be online, Lord. Answer and meet them, answer all their petitions that they have deep down in their heart, Lord. There are things that they are praying and trusting. There are doors that they are hoping that will be opened. There are areas and things they would have loved, maybe finances in terms of relationships, that they might, or even in objectives, their careers, their job opportunities, maybe their debts they would love to clear, an area that or a job they are trying to apply or even to go abroad on to have an achievement, Lord, an area that they would wish to achieve, or something deep down their heart they might be willing to heal, to fight justice in an area, Lord, or even in an area of work they would like to have favor, Lord, whatever it is that people, the desires my viewers are desiring, even myself, Lord, please answer us, Lord, and grant us according to your favor and your abundance, Lord. And you have said in your word, ask and it shall be given, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened. That is in Matthew 7:7, Lord. And we claim it that we come to this word. And in the psalmist tells us that in your light we see light, Lord. Please grant us your light and grant us all our desires, Lord. We pray in your name, believing and trusting. Amen.